Hi everyone, this is Natasha and this is Friday Funbits. Sorry I missed the last 2 weeks and nobody reminded me. That's okay. I think I'm just going to do them whenever it feels right and I have something to share. I definitely have plenty of projects to complete, but today I wanted to talk to you about envelopes. And the primary reason is because I get questions a lot on the kind of envelopes that I use, the different applications, as well as envelope dies. So let's start with the basics, and it's the pre-made invitation envelopes, which is the standard A2 size card. It fits the standard A2 size cards. These particular ones are from Staples. They come in an assortment of colors and textures, and these are 4 3/8 by 5 3/4, and they're 24 pound weight. They're not particularly sturdy, but they're very practical for sending invitations or including replies to invitations. I definitely wouldn't use these for anything that is an event like a wedding or 50th anniversary. But for kids' parties, for backyard barbecue, these are perfect. They're affordable, they're quick and easy. They're definitely much more cost-effective than making your own when you need quite that many. And they come, these are boxes of 100. I think they also have packs of 25s or 50s at Staples. And these are available in both white and ivory, which match the cover stock or the card stock that I typically use from Staples for card bases. So that's the pre-made standard A2 size. There's also envelopes that you can make from dies. And this is an example of the Cottage Cutz Filigree Daisy envelope. And that's the die. And this is actually cardstock. It's not really heavyweight. It's not 110 pound, but it's probably like 80. So it makes a very pretty envelope. This would be a great card enclosure. This fits a gift card. So there's lots of different applications. You could use this on a layout to tuck in a memento from an event or anything pretty you want to keep. Really nice. And there's the daisy. There's also these steel cut dies, which this one is from Sizzix. And this is a really old one because it's the red base, but you can see it cuts a envelope that fits a 2x2 square little card, and I use these for enclosures for orders. See, like I have the State of Connecticut little thank you notes, thank you for your order kind of thing. Also cute to tuck in, let's say a lock of hair for a layout. Lots of little applications. So, and there's even smaller ones. I could not find my little punch, which is a McGill punch. There's also these Create-A-Lopes. For example, later on today I have to create a bunch of envelopes for myself for all these 3x3 cards that I have. So I just grabbed the 3x3 on Create-A-Lope, which I have shared. I had punched holes in to keep them all straight and easy for me to keep together. And I think I'm just going to use the Kraft wrapping paper, the Kraft wrap, and then create myself envelopes. So that's another option. And then last but not least that I'm going to talk about today is the one that I got the most questions on. And it's these clear plastic sleeves. And believe it or not, you can mail this through the post office. So I have a thank you card here. I'm going to slip it in to this. Oh, they don't want my hair, I'm quite sure. And then seal it. And the only thing that this requires are labels. So these labels that I picked up the other day at my local junkie store, that's all it really needs. So all you need to do is put a to label, and I would recommend going over the seal portion and the from, and this can go in the mail with a regular postage on it. So that's super easy. And definitely if you're mailing it in one of these, I would keep a low profile. So if a card doesn't have a lot of dimension, for example, this one, first of all, it's too small. And speaking of too small, let me give you the dimensions of the smallest US mailable envelope. It is 5 inches long by 3.5 tall. So 5 by 3.5 is the smallest envelope you can mail. The post office, as a rule of thumb, prefers rectangle envelopes. They also charge standard for rectangular envelopes. If you're making a 5 by 5 or a 6 by 6 card, put them in larger rectangle envelopes. Like a 5 by 5 will fit into a 5 by 7 envelope, or an envelope for a 5 by 7 card, without any additional postage. So a greeting card that you're sending through the post, standard 1 US Post stamp is maximum weight of 3.5 ounces. So if you have a food scale, you can always check it that way if you don't have a standard postal scale. And I had one somewhere, but for the life of me, I don't know where it is. So there's always a preference for rectangle, and that is because things are sent automatically through the system. And if it's sent, oh, I just saw it's off. If it's sent through if it's a rectangle, it has to be handled manually. So that's why they require additional postage for anything that is not a rectangle letter or envelope. So the minimum size is 5 long by 3.5 high and 0.007 thick. So if you have a dimensional card, you're going to need to slap on some additional postage. The maximum size of a letter is 11.5 long by 6 1/8 high and 1/4 inch thick. And the maximum weight is 3.5 ounces. So they really have half of an ounce, 1/4 of an ounce flexibility. So that's not very much. So I will include links in the description to my blog post, as well as the close-up view of this card, and to my blog post that will have the standard listings for the envelopes. These clear envelopes, somebody was asking, I can't remember who asked me. I have these for sale on my blog, which I will include a link to as well, if anyone is interested. And I keep my cards once I make them in these because, as someone pointed out, if I'm going to someone's house and I need to throw it in my purse, and if I'm not using a standard envelope, I'd rather it doesn't get all dirty and dusty. And I keep them in these clear envelopes in order to them remain dog hair free and dust free until I go to use them, especially when I'm making up a batch of cards like these thank you cards I've had, I made a couple of months ago, and I have a stash of them. I think I made 5 or 6 at the same time, and I don't want them getting dusty until, by the time I go to use them. So as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you have requests for future Friday Funbits videos, please let me know. Don't forget to thumbs up. It's free for you and it helps me out. And I will see you next week, hopefully. Thanks for watching, everyone.